Okay, so we have another one in here. It's an older one. So I'm going to see if there's power coming to this one. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing down here. Nothing over here. So right there, something you don't do is put two wires around one screw. And see if there's any power at the switch. So I'm going to have to go down and shut it off in the breaker box.
You got to do what?
I have to go down to the cellar and shut it off.
Okay.
So there we have our two wires on the same screw. You never put two wires on the same screw like this. Do you have a flashlight?
A little one, yeah.
Yeah, that would be good. Thank you.
Hoodies.
So we'll get our wires straightened out here so we can put them into our Wagos. And we'll open up our loops.
You're not going to bump right through the house. Stop! Diesel, knock it off. It's a... Get up on the couch and sit down.
Now we're going to look at our older wires, see which one is the live and which one is the neutral.
Lay down. Come here. Come here.
So this one is our live, and that is our neutral over here.
Laying down, being good. Okay?
So we'll
So out.
tail these up to make them longer.
Okay? There we go. No button. No. We're doing it. Mama.
So these are equivalent to the Wago wire nuts. These are made by Ideal. And they have the little levers on them here, so we could pop them open. I'm going to open them with my teeth because I only have one hand. So I'll make sure I get it in the right hole.
Mama. You're not going to the couch. Stop.
I'll make make sure I can see the wire going in, which I can't.
Mama. Lay down. Lay down, take a nap. Stop it. Go girl.
Okay, so you put it in the hole in here. So put one in here like that. And we will push it closed. Give it a little tug, make sure it's in. So that's the one with our black tracer on it. So we'll stick our another one of our black wires in there. Make sure it's in all the way.
Stop it. Come here. Come here, Mama. Come here. Come here. Come on, Mama. Stop it. Lay down. Knock it off. Knock it off.
For some reason, I'm not able to get the
Come here.
insulation in all the
Come
way.
here, Mama. Come here, Mama. Here.
So I'm looking to see where does it grab.
Look. Come here, Mama. Come and lay down. Good girl. Good girl. Lay down. Good girl. Lay down, Mama.
These wires are still a little crooked from taking them apart.
Good girl.
There we go. We're going to clip our tail wire here. And we'll strip it. So when you see the copper up at the top, you'll know it's in the Wago all the way. So I'll pop that down, and I'll see the copper up at the top there. Okay, I'm going to hold it up to these other two wires here. And this is the one end that's going to go into our GFI. So I'm going to look. flashlight, make sure our copper is coming up to the top there, which it is. Close it. And we have our other black wire here. We'll get our old black wire in there next. Okay, I might have to take a little insulation off of this black old wire here so the copper comes up to the top. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to look inside the connector here and make sure that copper is up at the top there. Which it is, so I'll just snap it down like that. So we have these two wires hooked up to our GFI receptacle here. So these will go on one side of the GFI. Okay, now we'll get our neutral wire tail made up here. We'll strip it. And we'll strip our other end to go into the GFI. So we'll open our little levers here. We'll open them up. We'll put our wire in. Make sure it's coming up to the top there. Pop it down like that. Now we can lift up our other two. Just so I don't put any stress on my sore hand. So I'll put it in. Make sure our Wago is closed. Now look at the end, make sure our copper is up at the top, which it is. And we'll stick one more in there. I'll take the shorter one here. Here in the country I was born in, we use a 14 American wire gauge on 20 amps, 12 American wire gauge on 20 amps. Black is live, white is neutral, the bare, the green is the ground. Red and blue are also live colors. However, you may find white live in a 110, 120 volt switch loop or on a 220, 240 volt appliance where the appliance does not require a neutral. So we'll get our white wire down in here. Push it in, make sure Insulation gets up into the bottom of our Wago there. Okay, I just have to take a slight bit more off that white wire there, not a lot. I want to get the insulation to go up into the bottom of it. Okay, so we push it in. See, our insulation is up into the bottom there. Now I'm going to just look at the bottom of our connector here, make sure our copper is coming up to the top the way we want it to. Yep, all of them are coming up to the top the way we want them to. So now we can push these back into our box. So we can put these two white wires on the GFI on the line side, because okay, so I'll show you something on the GFI that lets you put two wires on one terminal. And there's no ground in this box. Okay, so we're going to only use the line side, which is right here. See where it says line? And we have nothing going out on our load side. So I'm going to close these screws so that they don't touch anything. And we don't want it to touch. And if you look closely, you'll see the two slots. So you can put two wires in. That'll save a wire nut. And we have no ground wire, so we'll close our green screw. Okay, so we're going to go to our line side here. We're going to put our red. I got to make sure it's a nice long enough strip, which it is. Okay, so we're going to have to cut our black wire back some.
Oh, good. Please tell him it's on 11 I'm praying for, okay? Okay, bye.
Oops, we have 12 and 14 mixed. We're going to take these off and we're going to put a piece of 14 in here so that we don't have problems with this pressure plate working, because you can only put the same size wire in the hole. So I'm going to get our 14 gauge wire out. So to open these, you just lift up the tab you're taking off, take your wire out like that. So we'll have to push these wires out of this Romex here. I can't pull with my left hand, so I'm going to push it out this way. strip with our 14 gauge hole, like this. So put the longer one inside the Wago here, make sure our insulation is going up into the connector, snap it closed. And I'll look at it with my light, make sure our insulation is in the bottom and our copper is up at the top. That's what we want. And now we'll just pop this little lever down. We'll take our number 12 out of here. Piece of the end to go into the Wago. Strip with our hole that matches the wire size. Like that. Okay, so we'll put it in our hole here. Push it up all the way, snap it down. And I'll look with my flashlight, make sure our copper is coming up to the top. So all my insulation is coming into the top of the Wago, and all our copper is showing at the bottom. So now I can just push this all back into our box. I want to get it back so it's out of the way of everything here. So we can get our GFI into here safely without forcing anything. There we go, so we got them back in and out of the way. So here in the country I was born in, your black goes on the brass screw, which is the narrow slot. Your white goes on the silver screw, which is the wider slot. And if you have the green wire or bare wire, it goes on that green screw. And what's nice about this is you have 2 slots where you can put 2 wires under one terminal, as long as they're both the same gauge. So we'll do our whites first. We'll just get our blacks down out of the way here. So we'll get our 2 white wires together. So we'll push this back. And we're going to make sure we're on the line side. So we'll get our 2 wires under our pressure plate. A little bit trickier with one. There we go, we got them in. Now to snug this, I'm going to turn it this way so I don't have to use my right hand to hold it. So I'll go over here. Make sure it's nice and tight. Okay, now we'll get our 2 black wires under our other pressure plate here. There's one. And here's the second one. So I want to make sure they're in all the way. One of our white wires popped out, so I'm going to have to take it apart again. I want to make sure insulation's not pinched there. You have to strip this black one slightly more, not a lot. going to take a little more off this white wire here so it goes under the pressure plate all the way. Strip it with our 14 gauge hole. There we go. Okay, so I want to make sure we get our wires up like that there. I'm not going to crank it until I get it down here where I don't have to hold it. Okay, and it's nice and tight. And our wires our insulation's not under the pressure plate. Our insulation's not under the pressure plate, and our copper comes up to the top. So we'll come back over here and we'll do this white wire again. There we go, that's where I want it, right there. Okay, and there's the connection we want right there. Now we can just push this into our box. We're using a number 1 square driver. It's easier. The Phillips screwdriver will hop like a bunny rabbit on these screws. Okay, so I'll just take my flashlight and look, make sure nothing's pinched anywhere. Everything looks good. And that is how to wire a GFI receptacle using the lever ideal connectors similar to the Wago's piece. Thanks for watching.